Hello, and welcome to Totally Schway Flipside. My name is Mary.
My name's Luke.
How are you doing today, Luke?
I'm very, very tired and grouchy. Other than that, what's new?
Did you know that this was a podcast about whatever the hell I wanted it to be about?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
And what do you want it to be about?
The comments from last week.
Okay. Good. I'm glad you cleared that up.
Yeah. I'm okay. Thanks for asking.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Yes, it was new.
Okay, nice. Not much. I ordered some new PJs. And Gilgamesh has made my life a living hell at night just simply because he wants to.
Something you should remember is that not everybody knows who Gilgamesh is.
Oh, that's my cat. One of my cats. I have 3 cats. Thor, Apollo, who are my oldest, who we got in 2013, and Mr. Gilgamesh here, who we got in 2022. Wouldn't change it for the world. So yeah, do you have any news or anything like that?
Nothing to announce at this point in time.
Oh, I do have news.
Oh my God.
I have a new hobby.
You do?
I don't know how long this is going to last because it's already annoying me. I'm making beaded things.
I see.
I don't, well, not just bedazzling because that has not left me, but this is actual like beads, like, you know, those old rainbow bead bracelets that people had in like the 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Exciting. Maybe you could take a picture and post it on your community post.
Maybe. Some of the words on I'm making like purse charms. Some of the words might not be appropriate.
It should be okay.
Yeah.
You can always turn the letters around, can't you?
Well, like this one.
That says your name.
Yeah.
Oh, inappropriate.
Yeah, so shall we get straight to the comments today?
Yes, we will. So we're talking about the comments that were made on the episode of Totally Schway about the first crossover episode between Static Shock and the new Batman Adventures, The Big Leagues.
Which I don't think everybody got, that I did not care for it so much.
I'm pretty certain
I know
they
I'm
did.
making a joke.
I'm pretty certain you were pretty clear on that.
Yeah. I didn't care for it. But that's okay, because I don't have to love everything.
Yes, because the first commenter we have is someone named Justin Riley, who says, "This is one of my favourite episodes in any DCAU show. Loved seeing Virgil interact with Batman and giving the Joker a taste of his own medicine." And you know what, Mary? That comment got 4 thumbs up. So
good. I'm glad somebody likes it. Because you know what? There's a band that I like called The Doors. I love The Doors so much. Like, Luke knows how much I love them. I talk to people sometimes who are like a little bit older than me, and they hate them so much. And I'm like, oh, but that's okay because I like them, but you don't have to like them. And they'll say they like Conway Twitty.
They might do.
I mean, I don't mind Conway Twitty, but I don't love. So that's something like that. Everybody's got their own little taste, and I love that.
All right. Well, thank you for your comment. We're going to go over to... I was talking to Justin.
I know.
Talking to Justin, Mary. Jeez.
You, Justin.
We're going over to Big Mikey P next, Michael Andre Parlon, with his latest novel. And he says, Mandalore Gaming System Shock Remake Review.
Yeah, I'm doing my beating while I do this.
Maybe you could move the bag a bit further away from the microphone because it's probably going to pick up. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, I'm going to get to this comment now, if that's okay with you. Mandalore Gaming System Shock Remake Review shall have to wait. Totally Schway first. Didn't that System Shock remake come out ages ago? Why are they reviewing it now? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Really wish Static Shock, the show, got more high-stakes episodes like The Big Leagues. By the way, the episode is actually Season 2's 11th episode according to production script order. Funny, I read something with Alan Burnett where he said it was the premiere. Maybe they moved them around, but anyway. I'm with Mary. Hot Streak is the worst, and his wardrobe is a crime against all life in the known multiverse.
Yes.
Disagree with Mary. The Joker recruiting wayward kids and being oh so random makes sense in the crossover. In comparison, having the DCAU Riddler instead would have been Lame-orama. We have to start using that.
Lame-orama.
Yeah, that's Lame-orama.
Okay.
I've already worn it out, sorry. Like, have you seen the new Batman Adventures look? Dunno with Mary, the big leagues should be in the middle of Justice League, and that Batman using his TNBA look and even the BTAS Batwing is because his Justice League look and Batwing needed maintenance.
Wait, wait, the Riddler was in TMBA?
Yeah, yeah.
Totally. That's what I think about that. But just because of the outfit, I much prefer the original outfit.
hmm
But things change.
hmm Uh, impossible to deem most of anything Static Shock as non-canon to the DCAU since the main character is in Justice League Unlimited's Season 1's The Once and Future Thing. I'd rather make an embargo against doing Star Trek references on fictional works potentially made by me. Star Wars Legends references need more love after all, although references to Star Trek-esques like Galaxy Quest can be allowed. X-Men the Animated Series and Spider-Man the Animated Series are dumb when compared to the DC animated works from BTAS to Batman the Brave and the Bold, though. Disqualify them from the listings, please. Mary has some thoughts about that because we are currently rewatching X-Men.
I don't mind it. I mean, I really like the first couple of seasons, and I love 97. But season 4 is probably you disagree with me on this, but season 4 is probably my least favorite.
Season 3 is the hardest for me. All of the Phoenix stuff and the Dark Phoenix saga, like it was such a chore. It was such a chore to get through. And I say that as someone that loves X-Men. Season 1 was wonderful. Season 2 is pretty good.
And I do not like the fact that Disney does not have it in order, the correct order, that the
Oh,
story order.
yeah.
They have it in, I think, production order, but I don't know because I haven't looked too much into it. But
Yeah.
um,
Well, that's the downside of having a sequential story. It's easy to mix things up or miss episodes, and then suddenly you're all confused.
I
Like,
still really liked X-Men though,
yeah,
because the characters are wonderful. They have their own things going on, but the storylines and some of the animation were very you can tell where they rushed it a lot.
yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's a terrible show. It's just I like the first couple of seasons more than I like the fourth season.
So to continue the comment, Big Mikey P says, at least you didn't badmouth anime like Cardcaptor Sakura, Mary. Still, Dragon Ball Z still has a lot of gold moments.
I don't drag anime because I don't watch anime. And I'm not the type of person that just absolutely hates it for no reason, like I do some things.
Mhm.
Well, well, there are reasons, but with anime, it's just never been something I've been drawn to. My niece, actually, I think all of my nieces like anime. And I love that for them because the storylines that they actually talk about seem like really great and stellar. But it's not my sort of thing.
Mhm.
But I hear it's like there's some really great storylines, like some one-off things as well that are just like brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, saying, oh, I don't like anime is like saying I don't like, books because there's lots of different types of anime. It's very broad.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
yeah.
don't have the patience to sit and watch um a whole storyline at the moment.
Yes, I remember one of my friends telling me he was watching. I think it was well, it was what he was watching Detective Conan, and he'd been watching it from the start. And I think he said it was something like 800 episodes in, and he was still going. I was like, oh my god, that's dedication.
Doesn't like One Piece or Titan or whatever it is have like over 1,000 episodes or
I don't
something?
know. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to continue his comment because we've got a lot to get through.
Hmm.
As an aside, I like how the episode has an older Tim Drake / Robin too. Makes his appearance on season 4's Future Shock, where he's getting fed up of working alongside Batman and the Return of the Joker movie, more bittersweet though. Static Shock is watered down when compared to Justice League Unlimited, Teen Titans, Avatar The Last Airbender, and even Kim Possible for sure. Static should have electrically executed the Joker at the very end of the episode. Would have saved many lives as a result, but no. And look what happened to Tim Drake when Batman Beyond rolled around. So now we're on to Big Mikey P's book recap, and he's still reading The Sum of All Fears, one chapter per day, and nearing the finish on Roger Stern's Death of Superman novelization.
Wait, Some of All Fears was a book.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
He mentioned it before. Anyway,
I think I
uh,
probably thought that, just didn't
just didn't
do.
say it.
Yeah.
Finished helping out the Bookworm friend with unabridging their copy of Tom Sawyer and have decided to also reread my copy of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn next.
Mhm.
Reread and finished The Turn of the Screw, not my style of literature and honestly not one of my classic favourites. Those go to books like Jane Eyre, Dickens literature like David Copperfield and Robinson Crusoe, probably. But it is a fascinating enough read at places and it ain't a poorly aged novella, all things considered. Started rereading 2001 A Space Odyssey with 2010 Odyssey 2 going to follow suit. Rewatching the movie adaptations is also anticipated. For comics, have reread DC The New Frontier and its movie tie-in special, plus Mark Millar's Elseworlds tale Superman Red Sun. And surprisingly, John Byrne's Batman and Captain America Elseworlds standalone. Yes, the one with the Joker confronting Red Skull. Yeah, that's a funny one where the Joker's like, wait a minute, you're a Nazi? And he's like,
Wait,
yeah,
well, hold on. Red Skull
yeah,
is Marvel.
yeah. It's Batman Captain America.
Oh,
It's a
okay,
crossover.
yeah, okay.
But the Joker says to
The look in your eyes look disappointed that I did not know this.
you've just ruined what I was saying. My little anecdote from
Okay.
where Red Skull wants to work with the Joker. And he goes, "Wait a minute, but you're a Nazi." He goes, "Yeah. What is that a problem?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm crazy, not a racist."
Yeah.
Anyway, um,
What year did that come out?
I want to say 97.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, I'm going to continue his comment now. And the follow-up Superman Batman Generations, the surprisingly bittersweet close-fisted 1990 run, the generation 1999 run, excuse me, the Generations 2 and 3 sequels won't be included. Now at rereading Batman Year 1 and maybe DC Showcase Catwoman as an animated tie-in, and its follow-up The Long Halloween Saga, and probably plan to reread Superman Birthright All-Star Superman, no All-Star Batman and Robin of course, Gotham by Gaslight, maybe its sequel Master of the Future, the Superman tale, What's So Funny About Truth, Justice in the American Way. This also means rewatching Superman vs. the Elite afterwards, after many years last seeing it. The JLA duology The Nail and Another Nail, and for the first time fully Superman's Secret Identity next.
Seems like you're gonna be busy.
Series recap. Just got past Heidi Girl of the Alps episode 30. Started watching Red vs. Blue season 13. Just got past episode 12 out of 22. We'll start trying to finish Madoka Magica, the TV series / compilation movies, and start out the Aria Blue Curtain Call trilogy before Flipside comes out. Well, good luck. Movies recap. Oh, there's more. After finishing the book, I'd just seen to the movie adaptation of Cruel Sea, though abridged in comparison, and I still prefer the book in conclusion. It still does justice to the main drive of the story, and also glad the Wren character of Julie Hallam seems to have survived the end of the war for main character Lockhart's sake. Perhaps a companion rewatch of Das Boot and a first-time viewing of Greyhound shall follow eventually. Rewatched the 1961 film The Innocent, still a superlative and better classic horror adaptation of The Turn of the Screw. Rewatched Justice League The New Frontier, satisfying film adaptation, but I have to ask, it should have been an hour more longer so to expand upon other characters, like the losers, Task Force X, John Henry / Steel, and particularly the challenges of the unknown. Funnily enough, I saw an interview with Bruce Timm recently. It was actually an old interview, but I only saw it recently, where he said he was asked if he could redo any of his projects, which ones would he redo? And he said, well, out of all of them, New Frontier, I wish I'd insisted that it was a two-parter or just an hour longer so we could get everything in.
I that's one of my favorite ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've just realised Big Mikey P is clearly Bruce Timm. He's given himself away.
I'll never tell.
Anyway, to continue his comment, such is the disadvantage of the DC animated original movie lineup having an average runtime of 70 plus minutes. Next on the list may be Man Under the Red Hood, and no need to reread its comic book version this time around. Scene to Sereno's Ringing Bell, not as optimistic and heroic as its animated successors, the Unico duology of films and You Are Umasu, but it is as thematically strong in terms of animation, Japanese voice performance, and story, if interestingly shorter, since it's only 47 minutes long when compared to Unico's film's average 91-minute runtime. As for movie trailers, I'm still neutral on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, even though it's not called that anymore, though I may want to reread the standalone comic miniseries in preparation and the Backroom's intrigues. Assorted recap. Oh dear. Curiously, my local cinema is actually going to rerun a bunch of Studio Ghibli classics like Castle in the Sky, My Neighbor Totoro, Porco Rosso, and Spirited Away. Dr. Destiny should rule in the top 5 Justice League / JLU darkest moments. Hear that, Mary? He's trying to influence us.
I Can I be honest?
Yes.
I can't be influenced very easily.
Yes. You tell her to do something, she's more likely to do the opposite.
Yeah, but it's more about the only thing that influences me is my OCD.
But yes, thank you for your comment, Big Mikey P. We're going to move on to Lowell Lucas Jr. next, who says, "Make way today. It's totally Schway. Now let's get into the cheese. No need the filler, please. Meats are real the treat. We're on our knees." And then a smiley laughing emoji with tears and bacon. As a man who wears baggy pants, I can attest it is a fashion statement. However, I'm not in favour of showing my undies over my pants. That mess isn't necessary.
See, I don't mind the baggy pants. It's mainly the underwear thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because let's be honest, a lot of the times, like around that time, a lot of the style, especially like where I was going to school, was like baggy pants with like thick boxer shorts, not like tight up to the skin uh boxers and clown pants. I
Mm-hmm.
can only say because they have that opening, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So to continue Lowell Lucas Jr.'s comment, he says, "That mess isn't necessary. Not all of us can pull off Hot Streak's gravity-defying pants, but those who can, myself included, know better than his fashion no-nos."
Yeah.
As for Uncle Joker, he did stand out as a sore thumb. Not hated, but a little uncomfortable. I kind of blame it on animation budget for the show, as Static got the low end of the animation totem pole, so some designs stand out from others. Joker at least looked decent, and its plot was very Joker-esque. I thank the incredible writing for how well the show progressed despite the limitations. At least Virgil dealt with an A-lister, as Riddler may have come across condescending, arrogant, and probably come across as racist if talking about the riffraff he's forced to recruit. That's a fair point. I suppose we'll talk about my favourite dynamic duo of Harleen and Poison Oaky with Virgil in another video, as I'm sure there'll be a moment or two Mary may enjoy. Till then, my duckies, ta-ta for now.
Ta-ta for now.
Next we have RJ Productions, who says, "Hello everyone and happy belated anniversary, Luke and Mary. I actually haven't watched this episode yet, so I can't comment, lol. Well, I appreciate you listening to our thoughts on it, despite having never seen it. Hopefully we don't influence you." Also, I felt called out by Mary's bedsheet rant. Oh dear. Also,
I'm sorry. I didn't think anybody would actually pay attention to that.
I'm giving up the DCAU marathon and skipping Static Shock minus the crossover episodes because, unlike the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm not obligated to watch everything DCAU related. Well, I suppose that is true, but you will miss out on some fun stuff. I watched the first half of Static Shock Season 1 and it's not really for me. I guess when I first watched the show I was expecting something along the lines of BTAS, STAS or hashtag JLAS, where it's still a kid show but they don't try so hard to be hip with the kids. I've decided to continue with the show. It's still enjoyable, and I've now made time to finish watching it. Have a great week, everyone. Oh, good. That was an edit included.
You don't, if you like the Marvel universe or the Star Wars universe or the DCAU, you don't have to watch every single thing in it to enjoy it and to, still follow the story. So, because I'm like that, there are some things that I'm just not going to watch. Not because I have like strong opinions on them or anything, but just because I don't really have uh the bandwidth,
Mm-hmm.
time, and energy.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay. You don't have
Yeah.
to watch everything. You don't need to know absolutely everything about things that you're even remotely interested in.
But Warner Brothers, if you are listening, because I'm still doing my audition for voice actress, or if you need someone to handle a good selfie at the Supergirl premiere in London, I will watch. I will watch everything if
Yeah.
you need me to.
Yeah, I don't know if I definitely didn't mention this in the podcast, but I was researching ways that we could go to the Supergirl premiere, but it costs a lot of money. They do have limited tickets, and it's. I'll just say how much it would be. It was
$4,000.
yeah, £4,000 for the two of us to go, and I said thank you, but no, thank you.
No. But I doubt anybody from Warner Brothers ever listens to our stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm still free. I mean, I'm not like free. Close. Close to free. But I have some time coming up. And I've got good equipment at home.
Let's move on to the next comment then, which is from Doc Widener, who says, "Thank goodness you're here. 4-H meeting later today, so definitely want to get this in this morning. Was up too late doing a replay of Fallout New Vegas, so slept in. You know, I stopped playing Fallout New Vegas a couple of hours in because I kept getting annoyed with my companion beefing with all the different factions, and it just made traversing the world a pain. So I'm not enjoying this. I'm not going to play it anymore. That was 15 years ago, maybe longer.
It was longer than that.
Yeah.
It was before I came over here, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't know. Anyway, it's a long time ago. Anyway, just before I started, I had a nosebleed out of nowhere.
Oh, I hate those.
I did get an EV, so that's an electric car, that I said I was considering, a 2022 Kia Niro.
Nice.
Runway red, interesting. Trying to pry it away from Sergey, who adores it. Was supposed to have an electrician out the other day, but their AI scheduler confused the humans, so they are coming Tuesday. I am so far behind on shows. I did binge Wonder Man, nearly said Wonder Woman then, Wonder Man finally, which I really enjoyed, and I need to watch that too. I am currently on The Boys and Invincible, but being on Daredevil, Darth Maul, Monarch, Shrinking, and For All Mankind.
Didn't the boys like the? It's all ended now, hasn't it?
The last season's in progress, yes.
I thought it was just out now.
No, they're releasing it an episode a week,
Hmm.
I think. To be honest, I can't remember if I watched season 3, and I'm definitely behind. I might have watched season 3. I'll just have to look it up one day. I've got a flight coming up soon, so maybe I'll watch some of it then. The biggest issue with Static is it was of its time and lacks the timelessness of most of the DC animated universe. Kind of like how old Mystery Science Theater 3000 films are a riot to me, but I often have to explain the jokes to the boys. Maybe they were targeting the shows to the intellectual level of the sitting presidents at the time. Probably not that, but it popped in the brain. Have a good week, you too. You too. Yes, thank you.
I have no comment on sitting presidents at the moment. Oh, well.
Nothing nice to say.
Yeah.
Next, we have David Carney, who says, "Hi, Mary and Luke. Static Shock is still on the list of shows to watch, which is long. What's your opinion on tie-in comics? If the people that worked on the show worked on the comics, then they count. If they didn't work on the show, or no one that worked on the show ever worked on the series of the tie-in comics, then they only count if they fit."
I have the opinion of, if you like the story that it tells, then that's the story that it tells.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have to think of it as anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel anyway. Because it's just an added thing.
Yeah. If it adds, count it. If it doesn't,
if it adds whimsy, do whatever it feels like it brings you the most whimsy.
David continues by saying, "Ghost Machine is having their first, which is 2 extra issues to buy, which I don't mind. My problem is when you have to buy titles you're not getting or interested in." Oh, yes. Crossover comics. So I desperately want to like the X-Men comics. I really want to. But I swear to God, every other month it's like a line-wide crossover that is insignificant and doesn't really change anything. Stuff like the Age of Apocalypse was fun in the 90s, but when they started repeating it and just doing crossovers for the sake of crossovers is when I just lost interest and stopped buying them. That's why I was a little bit worried when they said they were doing crossovers in the Absolute comics. So I'm like, look, I know I'm already buying all of the Absolute series, but I don't want to have to read an issue of Batman and then jump over and read Wonder Woman and then read, Martian Manhunter to get the story. And thankfully they're not doing that. So that's good. All of the crossover stories are, so far at least, isolated and can be read on their own. You don't have to read the next crossover in a different series. But if you do, it adds something, which is nice. It's a fair way to do it. Anyway, yes. David said, "My problem is where you have to buy titles you're not getting or interested in." Yes, I completely agree. Have a good week, everyone.
I finished my thing.
Oh, good.
Let me just make some noise to slip everything up.
Keep rustling them bags.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure, everybody loves it.
Yes, thank you, David. We're going to go on to Ryan Jones next. He says, Mary, since you don't like Hot Streak, you will definitely won't like him in the comic because in the comic he's a white supremacist.
Ugh.
I recently watched the Mario Galaxy movie and I really enjoyed it. Mary, I'm disappointed in you because everyone is a winner in their own way. And if parents don't say that, then their children will end up like Terminal. I'm sorry for my rant, but as someone who is sometimes insecure about my talents, I find the comment about everybody not being a winner in their own way, even if they didn't win anything, makes me a
Let,
bit sad.
let me say something about
What
this.
a bully, Mary.
I was not good at gymnastics. I did not deserve to have a ribbon because first off, I knew that I figured out that I had missed something before it even, whatever. But it was already too late for me to go back and do it. I'm not good at gymnastics, and I get that. So that's why I stopped doing gymnastics because that's not what my journey was.
Mm-hmm.
I, on the other hand, when I was in creative writing class, that I loved so much that I took it. I took two different creative writing classes with the same teacher. I, got kudos for things. Because we had to do these like daily journal entries of just like the most ridiculous storylines, like as if like a day in the life of the Wells invasion or something like that. Like in the Orson Welles, that all of that, like if as if you were inside of the radio hearing Orson Welles and then whatever. It was stuff like that, and I got like I think twice out of like 50 students probably. I got called out twice, which felt really nice, and I understood that the reason why I did that is because I put my I don't think I'm a talented person, but in that regard, I like doing that stuff. And it made me feel happy that I got called out on a good way. There were some people that just took the class because it was the only elective left. And they did not care if they were, gonna, get on some kind of list or whatever. So not oh shut up, Luke. But like on some of like kudos creative writing list.
Yeah.
If I went on an ice skating, if I got myself into an ice skating or a horse racing championship, I know damn well, ice will meet my ass. And I know I don't deserve to be like called out for that, as in like give kudos and whatnot. Everyone has something, even if they haven't found it yet. It doesn't matter how young you are, how old you are, who you are, you will find something that you were talented at. And when you find that and you know, I don't know how to explain it, but once you find that out, like the talent that you're good at, it's not going to matter if somebody else calls you out or gives you a participation medal for it, because it's something that you like, something that you um just enjoy doing. Um like I love uh what do I love at the moment? I don't love many things at the moment, but um I don't know. I like to bedazzle things, right? I'm pretty good at it for the most part after I messed up the uh Clark Kent car, but I'm pretty good at it now because I've taken the time and effort to get better at it. I don't need to win an award, but if I did win an award, I think I'd be prouder of that than if I got another participation medal in gymnastics. I do believe that everyone is good at something, that they're talented in some way. But sometimes, like myself, it takes a really long time to find what that is. Especially as an adult, because, having things that you're good at as a kid, you're just like still trying to find yourself and you're like, oh, da, 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 da. Um, but when you're an adult, it's a little bit harder. And I get insecure about it as well, but I don't want to be I don't want to take away from somebody else's um talent, if that makes sense. I wasn't trying to sound like a bitch. I know I might have sounded like that.
She was trying to bully you, Ryan.
No, definitely not, because I want everybody to feel like they're good at something, because they are. It's just you might not know what it is yet, or you might have multiple things you're good at. And but you don't want to have this false sense of, you know, oh my it's probably because of how I grew up, because my mom and my grandpa were not people that were like, oh my gosh, you're so good at this or whatever. Um, they knew when to tell me when I wasn't good at something and when I wasn't. Um, the way that they did it might not have been the kindest, but I think that's might be part of the reason that I feel the way that I do. But also, I know that those kudos in creative writing class, and when I was in my beauty therapy era, and I got, told that I was like really good at nails and stuff like that, it felt so much better than just feeling like I was part of something, because I was like, that's something that I like, that's something that I was good at. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not meaning that like nobody deserves an award. I'm not saying that. I think once you find what you were good at and you get rewarded for that, whether that's an actual ribbon, trophy, or just the fact that you're doing something that you like and you've put the time and effort into it, it doesn't matter. It's because you like it, because you succeeded at something. Because not everybody has to see, like, I've learned this recently, not everybody has to um, see every success that you do, because all of those small successes in your life, the biggest reward is what kind of person you are.
Okay. Going to continue Ryan's comment
Yeah,
now.
sorry.
He completely changes the subject, by the way. He says, I might be doing a Gotham Girls fanfic because before I watched Jump on the Batwagon, cheap plug for Jamie Stricker's podcast there, the episode that was about Gotham Girls Season 1, I watched Gotham Girls Season 1 to get me ready for it, and I don't know why, but the Batlap episode has made me weird because I can't stop thinking about the fact that Batgirl got turned into a cat. For context, the fanfic is basically the alternate timeline in which Batgirl doesn't turn back to normal and gets to be Catwoman's new favourite cat. It's a story about finding love, compassion, and a better life for each other. It will make you laugh, and I hope it will not make you cringe, but we will have to see. Luke, I don't know why, but my comments on Lobo and Gotham Girls episode won't read. I don't know if YouTube deleted them or if I spoiled something for Brian, but can you ask James, please? Since I haven't done any more fun fact recently, here are some fun facts. I mean, it's probably YouTube being weird because I've noticed when I've left comments on things that they're just not there. And then a couple of days later, you come back and, oh, there it is. It may have got caught in their rude filter.
I don't leave comments on YouTube videos anymore. I think I stopped at the beginning of the year because I would literally just say like, "Oh, good for you," and like 5 purple hearts, because I love purple hearts. And when I went to go see it to make sure that it was there, it was not there.
I doubt that that James would like slight you. I think it's more that, if you'd said something that would spoil something in the future for Brian, he just wouldn't read it out. He wouldn't delete it, I don't think. But anyway, let's get to Ryan's fun facts. He says, fun fact number 1. Last year was Mario's 40th anniversary. Fun fact number 2. This year is Sonic's 35th anniversary and Pokemon's 30th. Fun fact 3. Last year was Pluto's 95th anniversary. And if you don't know Pluto, he's Mickey's dog. I thought you were talking about the planet.
I like Pluto.
Oh, sorry.
Both of them.
The former planet.
I like both Plutos.
And fun fact number 4. This year is the 100th anniversary of the Winnie the Pooh books.
Yeah, because I knew that because it's now out of copyright, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Which is why they did some horror film about it.
Yep.
Which I'm not going to say is stupid or anything, but because I haven't watched it. But if anybody has watched it, what's it like? Also, I think I've probably mentioned this a few times before, but I've met Mario, and he was so freaking nice.
Yes, he was. Charles Martin.
So nice. I think it was at Selfridges, wasn't it?
Yes.
And there wasn't that many people because we usually get to places like really early, and he just literally stood there and or sat there, and we stood there and just talking to him for a few minutes, and it was rather lovely. So if you ever get the chance to meet him, I would totally wholeheartedly suggest it, because he made that experience so absolutely worth everything.
But yeah, thank you for your comment, Ryan. We're going to move on to the next comment, which is from everyone's favourite, one and only Cucumber, who says, I presume Dr. Destiny will be on the 5 darkest moments. Well, I guess we'll see next time. Someone else trying to influence us. Not cool, not cool.
Cucumber, do you like pickles?
To continue their comment, they say, oh yeah, also, I lived. No cyclone can stop me.
Good.
That's good to know.
Good. The cyclones, be gone.
Next, we have Scream Wiper, who says, I haven't seen this episode of Static Shock, so I have no opinion on it, but here are some things I have to say about the episode of Totally Schway. I change my bedding roughly monthly, assuming no incidents makes them dirty. Well, yeah, that's sensible. But I shower in the evening and go to bed with clean skin and hair. People who only shower in the morning, they bring the filth of the day to bed with them, and they probably do need to change their bedding weekly. Bob's Burgers is a good show, and I can see Mary liking it, especially after a few seasons when the characters and lore are more developed. See, maybe we should give it a shot.
I know, like I keep seeing it on the Disney Plus thing, and I'm like, I'm closer and closer.
Our pal Brad Rader worked on it for a long time.
That's
so
probably influenced me a lot too.
He then says, do I look like a man with a plan? The Joker in The Dark Knight. Hitler once said something that there's a big jump. Hitler once said something like the most effective propaganda isn't the most factual and true. It's the simplest because that can be understood by the largest amount of people, even the stupid ones. I think media corporations often treat their films and TV shows in a similar manner. Yes, they go for the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. And now on to Screen Wiper's chicken news.
Chicken news. That wasn't actually me stuttering this time.
Thursday, the 16th of April, 2 weeks after her hormone implantation, Wilma got very out of sorts and sickly, being uncharacteristically withdrawn and subdued. It made me very worried about her, but it also correlated with how the hormones really kick in after 2 weeks. Some of her feathers felt too, indicating this to be the case. This lasted for about 3 days, and she seems a lot more like herself again and is still very fluffy. So glad. I love Wilma so much.
So do I.
I do not love Alan.
There's a couple Allens I don't love out there.
He has been here a month now. By this point with the hens I usually have some bond developed, but with Alan there's nothing more than inherent affection that I feel for all animals, and that's because of his shitty behaviour. He would often bite me when I gave him food. Nasty bites that cause blisters and bleeding. I thought this might be accidental because he has those stupid feathers covering his eyes, so I cut them off. He hated it, but was very happy afterwards. It made him more confident to roam around the garden, and I was happy for him. But with this confidence came nastier personality traits. A couple of days into being granted the gift of sight, he tried 3 times to have his way with Mabel.
Get him out of here.
She had not into it, so that's what it was. Okay. I know this isn't abnormal behaviour for cockerels, but I'm still not allowing it. I have seen hens consent. They strike a presenting pose, and Mabel was doing no such thing. Alan was told off and punished each time. Mabel was unharmed and unbothered outside of the incident. Betty has been treating Alan with perfectly balanced mogging. She stands over him, giving him a few pecks, and he bows his head in submission. Excellent stuff. I'm pleased to say that Wilma is doing something very similar now, rather than ripping out his feathers and trying to kill him, and she has been praised for it. Betty also gets praised when she mogs, and Alan gets praised when he yields and doesn't fight back. For now, Alan seems to be respecting Mabel and the hens in general, with Wilma, Betty and I keeping him in his place at the bottom of the current pecking order. This may or may not last. Additionally, Alan tried to bite me today when I gave him some food, so it wasn't because he couldn't see, it was on purpose, the little prick. This is no excuse, but he may have been a bit freaked out because a rat had just been in the aviary with him trying to steal chicken food. I was hoping he would make himself and his cockerel aggression useful around here and chase rats, but no. He doesn't even do that. He's useless, nothing but a burden. At least the hens, when they aren't laying eggs, are nice company. Alan isn't really. Every time we start bonding, he ruins it with bad behaviour. He's very cute and amusing to look at, and that's about it. Despite eating so little, he's a massive burden who needs locking in a holding pen in the garage in the morning from sunrise so his annoying crowing doesn't disturb neighbours. His probation period was 1 month, and if I absolutely had to decide now, I'd say he has failed. Thankfully, that deadline is arbitrary. In light of where he has shown good behaviour and learning, I will extend his probation by another 2 to 4 weeks. But I would say his chances of getting to stay at Blue's Hen Sanctuary for life is higher than 50%. It's sad, but I need to put the hens before him and myself before the chickens. If he makes life net worse for any of us, then he's going. Alan's placement here has caused me to cancel plans to rescue 2 more factory hens this summer. If he does get booted out of the sanctuary, at least it means we don't have to wait for a death in the pack to give 2 more hens a nice life here. Also, Mabel and Betty are both laying eggs every day still. Mabel had 1 day off, Betty had 0, and I'm worried they'll do a Doris and hurt themselves. So far, both hens and their eggs are in good condition.
Alan needs to get his stuff together.
Yeah.
Because under no circumstances should he be trying it with our beautiful, lovely, innocent, pure lady chickens. No, I'm not even saying that sarcastically. I actually love them. Like they're like my godchildren or my nieces. Let's go with nieces.
But that was the chicken update.
We love chicken updates. Thank you.
So let's move on to the last comment now. And this is from Michael Dolan, who says, "Ahoy, Luke and Mary. Let's get to the cheese in this sandwich."
The cheddar.
Yeah. In an odd coincidence, the episode was released on the 12th of April 2026, which just happens to be National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. It's almost like we planned it. I found out too late to prepare any myself, as using the stove would require me to find somewhere to put the great wall of tea currently occupying the cooktop. Yeah. Our kitchen can be like that sometimes. Great wall of just clutter. While this episode makes Static Shock a canonical part of the DCAU, I still remember the first episode having a casual throwaway line about Virgil knowing that Clark Kent is Superman, and as apparently the DC heroes were just fictional comic book characters in Static's world at that point. Just another one of those "we must never speak of this again" moments. I also can't remember if this episode comes before or after the one where Static meets the retired superhero from the 70s who inspired him, who had been named Soul Power instead of being Black Lightning as originally planned. I believe this one is before. Again, I assume there was some kind of infernal device or arcane engine in the basement of Warner Brothers HQ, fueled by the rage of Black Lightning creator Tony Isabella being denied royalties owed to him if the character ever appeared in film or TV adaptation, hence Black Vulcan on the Super Friends. Mary notes that the Coast City youths having a vernacular she can't always follow. I remember watching this episode at a friend's home and his wife came in about halfway through puzzled. She asked, "What's a metahuman?" I told her it's what DC calls mutants so Marvel doesn't sue. Mary has an ethical objection to the Joker's recruiting recruiting teenagers. Stage direction. Michael looks pointedly at Dick Grayson, Barbara Gordon, Tim Drake, and Terry McGinnis, then back to Mary.
I never said that I agreed with him recruiting kids, because I think maybe if it was just a couple years older, it'd be cool.
You're right. That's not acceptable under any circumstances. No, surely not. Bat Gizmo. I do love that highly complicated and detailed technical jargon. As I said in a comment under Luke's video on Be a Clown, I like that Mark Hamill's Joker is mercurial and unpredictable, even if that means he isn't always the most lethal of master criminals. The idea that he hasn't really thought out his scheme beyond become Fagin to a team of metahuman artful dodgers isn't really that far out of character for a man who would keep Charlie Collins on the hook for years just to have him hold a door open for Harley and her cake. The DCAU Joker would totally steal a fire engine and put his face on it for no better reason than he thought it might be funny in that moment. Also, I'm forgetting Release Order, but he could have been trying to take over the meta breed as the lower stakes dry run for his plan to put the Royal Flush Gang together. Yes, yeah, I believe this was in development before Wild Hearts came out in Justice League, so yeah. I'd also like to point out an interpretation I quite like of the South Park Underpants Gnome Plan Missing Second Step, which says the underlying assumption is that the plan is so vast and complicated that surely someone involved has to know the second step, even if every gnome and all the other gnomes they've spoken to don't know it themselves. Wait, you don't know the second step? No, I thought you knew. I thought Steve knew. No, Steve says he thought all of us knew. I never got to see much of Static Shock, but I enjoyed what I saw. I picked up the first few issues of the Static Comics Season 1 solely out of fondness for the character due to Phil Lamar's vocal performance. I like the very Peter Parker-ish vibe he brought to the microphone. "Who are you?" "I'm nefarious." "I already know you're nefarious. You just tried to shoot me." Between Virgil and Terry McGinnis, the DCAU crew definitely had a serious itch to do Spider-Man stories.
Hmm.
I learned today that Phil Lamar will be at RetroCon in Oaks, Pennsylvania, about 20 minutes outside of Philadelphia in late September. I don't want to tempt fate, but I wonder if my eye clears up enough that I'll be cleared to drive by then. And speaking of medical matters, I saw my primary care doctor last week and some good news. Excellent, we like this.
I do like good news.
My kidney function was back up to 54, and she was pleased with that. She was less pleased that with my A1C drifting back to 9.4 after having gotten down to just over 8 last autumn, but it's still a marked improvement on the 14 it was before my hospitalisation. The pneumaturia seems to have cleared up. In the most family-friendly way I can explain it, I was passing... Ouch! Yeah, I was passing flatulence through my urethra while urinating. Ouch, ouch, ouch. In layman's terms, he was farting out of his willy. It happened once in late January, and my reaction was, what the frag was that? I figured it was an anomaly and moved on, but it happened again the next day. When you go from 54 years of something never happening to it all happening twice in a 46-hour period, I figure it's time to get it looked at. The doctor's first hypothesis was that it could be due to the fistula, which is the lining of the intestinal wall, is thin enough that a hole develops, like knocking out a wall to connect the intestine to the bladder. She had me get a CT scan, which required me to drink a bottle and a half of radioactive barium liquid at precise intervals before the scan. As I had the stuff in a bag resting on my lap at the ride home, I wondered if it was safe to have the radioactive substance that close to the meat and tea veg. Then I realised it would be inside me the next day, so my fears were probably mute. The CT scan determined that while there was definitely air in my bladder, no sign of a fistula, so at least the most dangerous possible cause had been ruled out.
Good.
The symptoms continued, but no more than once a day, sometimes even skipping a day or two, and it manifested as more of a tired fizzle than a loud, terrifying trumpet that announced its presence at first. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. Some samples for the lab revealed an abnormal amount of bacteria present, so the doctor determined it to be a urinary tract infection, and another week of antibiotics seemed to have wiped it out entirely, much to my relief. And speaking of biology... Sorry, Mary, I know you're still holding a grudge about Pluto, but my other channel recommendation this week is Star Talk, where eminent astrophysicist and science educator Neil deGrasse Tyson and his co-host comedian Chuck Nice and soccer legend Gary O'Reilly chat with guest scientific experts, answer viewer questions, and discuss all things science from the tiniest subatomic particles in quantum physics to the mind-shattering vastness of the universe. In this week's episode, Neil and friends speak with Matt Kaplan, author of I Told You So, scientists who were ridiculed, exiled, and imprisoned for being right, from Galileo, charged by the Inquisition with heresy for questioning the church-sanctioned geocentric model of the solar system, to a Hungarian doctor threatened by her university with termination and deportation when her memory RNA research was deemed not profitable or prestigious enough, right before she won a Nobel Prize by using it to help to develop the COVID-19 vaccine. Later, they're joined by Project Hail Mary writer Andy Weir to examine the real-world science that shaped Rocky, the book, and the film's very alien co-star. Before I go, I posted a link to my oft-mentioned entirely too many geeky t-shirts photo album in the Serum Lake Viewers Facebook group, and in messages to both of your admin accounts as well. Currently at 723, with at least a few weeks before any arrive. See you next time for the DCAU's Darkest Moments.
I do watch that sometimes, by the way. I really love things about space and, well, just science in general, because it's very backed up by research. Like, I love how science, even when it changes, it means that's just like the evolution of that particular thing. But anyways, that's another thing. But yeah, I do. I enjoy I enjoy stuff about the star. You know that too.
Yes.
Like, I love watching these simulation videos as well, where you're a couple channels do it, but you're falling into the atmosphere of another planet or whatever. But I also, there are two lovely ladies on my TikTok that I follow that just talk about all things space. No, three actually. And I just love them. And it's really nice to listen to things like that rather than a lot of the other stuff that comes up on any of my social media stuff or just in the news in general, because that sort of news that they're talking about is just, it's so interesting and it's so wholesome, because they're talking about things that are not only interesting to me, but that will affect the rest of time. Yeah, I guess. Um, I also wanted to say that I'm very proud of you, um, for being able to get through all of your health issues, and I know you still have some. Um, it's hard, as you know damn well, um, having any sort of long-term health problem, and it can get really overwhelming, and sometimes you feel that nobody understands you in that moment, and it just gets to be way like your spiral is no longer a spiral, it's just your everyday life. And I just wanted to mention how proud I am of you, because it's such a good character trait to be able to withstand that sort of thing. It sucks, um because that's the thing that we're always taught. We're going to be, how if you continue to do this, this, and this, you're going to be happy, healthy, whatever. And sometimes it just doesn't work out that way, because our bodies don't really um align with what we want in life. And again, that sucks, and I can't really give you a better explanation than that. I have health issues. They're not as severe as what you've gone through, and I, even with the ones that the health problems I have, I get overwhelmed, and I feel like sometimes, especially more recently, that it's not going to get better. It's not going to do this, this, and this. And mine are very manageable for the most part, but with the things that you're going through, I don't know if I would be brave enough or anything like that to be able to get through that and still be as lovely as you are. So I felt like I needed to point that out. And that is something that you should be proud of, and that you should see as a really great thing in yourself. Um, and thank you for always updating us and like that. And that's the whole point. Like, we're friends. I say we're friends. We are friends, even though we're quite distant. But I like hearing about all of you guys, and I I appreciate, like, um, everything that you guys want to talk about, as long as it's not bad stuff. Like your favorite color being like um chartreuse, although I am growing on the chartreuse color. I'm not saying that that's your favorite color. But anyways, I'm getting off topic, but thank you for sharing. And it feels like things are looking up, and I hope they are. Any more comments?
That's it. We're
Yeah.
done. My voice is dead.
um so I would like to say thank you again, like I do every time we have a podcast. um I hope that all of you are doing well, and if you're not, um tell us so we can share the load, even if it's just, you know letting it all out and all of that. Because I know sometimes with me, it doesn't fix the problem, but like when I talk to Luke or whatever about it, it really does help me a little bit, enough to actually like remember to breathe. um this summer is going to be quite a busy summer, and it's not because like I'm going to a lot of places or anything like that. It's just like there's a lot of stuff that I can do that I am planning on doing. So um hopefully I will be able to share that journey with you guys. um yeah, I'm sorry I'm being like really talkative, but I've also figured out and a lot of stuff about myself recently, and I might share at some point, just not today. um but the whole thing, let's go back to the participation thing. If I can actually say that word,
Participation.
participation. I think that everyone has a talent. And whenever you find what that talent is, please share it, as long as it's appropriate. because some of my talents aren't that. I mean, like I said, I don't feel like I have any talents, but some of the things that I am um, not good at, but like have researched quite a lot and that I know like random facts about swear words, especially ones that I hate,
Hmm.
like the C word. Um, I know far too much information about that. And also, I know far too much information about 9/11.
Not to say that you were involved.
No, it's just like the building supplies, and the materials, the like the schematics of it and everything like that. It's just how my brain works. I started looking it up one day and I did. Not like conspiracy theories or anything because I don't really do um conspiracy theories. But yeah, that is all I'm going to say today because if I keep talking, I'm going to end up telling you I'm thinking about buying a Supergirl blanket from Asda that I don't need, but my cats like those kind of blankets, so it could potentially be watch this space or listen to this space and I'll tell you if I got it or not. If, if I can remember. All right. I love you guys and if it's sunshiny outside, go out for a couple of minutes, not too long. Some of us don't like going outside as much.
Me.
I didn't want to say your name. It's Luke here. But yeah, enjoy some fresh air and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.